Good morning and welcome to Good Morning Anambra. It's another beautiful day right here in Anambra State, and you're welcome to our flagship program this morning. And starting the program today, we are going to bring to you the stories trending on the national dailies and also ABS website. But we are going to take a short break right now. When we come back, you'll meet our guests and we go straight into discussion. Stay with us. My name is Chitim Oranwa. All right, welcome back to the show. And our guest this morning on Press Review is Uzo Ekemese. He's a public affairs analyst. Good morning, Uzo. You're welcome to the show.
A very good morning to the members of the crew of ABS. It's a wonderful morning, and viewers at home, please join us for this morning edition.
All right, quickly, let's start with the stories on the ABS website. The first story we have this morning, Anambra Assembly Speaker Okafor visits persons displaced by flood at Ibapo, Ayamilim Council area. Soludo inaugurates ASUBEB board. Soludo seeks sustainable national solution to tackle flood disaster confronting Nigeria. Soludo lots Anambra teachers calls for more commitments. These are the stories trending on ABS website this morning. Let's start with the first story there.
Yes, the flood disaster is not only Anambra State. It is a national, problem. It's a national issue. You can go to Kogi, you see how people are using canoe to even drive, okay, on the major road which have been taken over by flood. You see. So Anambra is not an exception. Okay, all this riverine area, you see, have been displaced by the flood. So we found out that those who visited them, it is a commendable, thing in right direction, because somebody that is in such condition need to receive relief, not only from the government but also from the individual. So, and also, how are we going to do? I want to marry it with this, what Soludo was saying, that about Nigeria trying to have a way to curtail this issue, not to be a recurring decimal. Okay, it's always, we are always like to be reactive instead of being proactive. Is living in a coastal area, you should know when the flood is going to come and the area that is normally being affected. So you don't need to build all your assets in those areas. Like people farm in that area, go to Obari, okay, most of them, their farmland was washed away. If you know that this thing is seasonal, okay, then you must have to be proactive, not to plant your crop during the time that is going to come and the crop has not been matured for him to harvest. So you can do it maybe in late December or whatever it is, so that before March or April you can able to harvest those things and leave them. And also people normally build in canal, okay, so when you now block this place, it has another way to float into the river, and as it flow in, then the other water that comes in now has to rise up and everywhere want to now be flooded. So our people should know how to manage the area whereby people are living close to the river. Not even only river, okay, there are some people are living in lake. Some lake can even overflow and also cause all this disaster, you see, so that they will not be doing something that are going to bring natural disaster. Because now people's houses have been submerged. Go to Obari, honestly, you are going to sympathize and pity them for such particular condition they are. Some people cannot even go out. Some people were caged, okay, and they want to go into the flood. It can even, take the person up. So they now stay there, and people are now going to use canoe to bring food for them. How can somebody become in his house and become prison? So what they're going to do is that there is a way other places Nigeria is very blessed, like other countries where you have tsunami and all this. Go to Australia, go to America, go all these things, have this flood. But there's a way they have to manage it over the years. So Nigeria should devise a way to manage this flood, especially in that particular river where people are doing drainages. Okay, they're dredging of sand from river. Okay, it costs all those things. When the thing comes.
But I was thinking, because somebody that came in yesterday was suggesting that River Niger is very shallow now, so it needs dredge up the sand so that there will be more room for water to occupy.
No. When you are dredging the sand, okay, it pushes the other sand down. River flows. Okay, so when you dredge, you see, if you have not dipped the sea, I mean the river, when we talk about that is dredging of sand, not even dredging the river to be deep, because it's not that deep, and you're still dredging the sand. Okay, so when you dredge the sand, the thing now moves and push it down. Then those who are, the place of dredging the sand cannot be affected. But those people that are down, you are seeing the water as it flows. So the receiving end will normally have that particular effect, as in Obaru. Okay, you find out that the thing are dredging in Onitsha. That's where the Niger is. But the Obaru people have been affected. Who people in Onitsha? Go to Onitsha, nobody will tell you that flood displaced us. But go to Obaru, which is a neighborhood to Onitsha. People are receiving that, and they're not dredging sand on Obaru. It's only in Onitsha that these are being happened. So what I'm trying to say is that there must be a provision, okay, whereby people, first of all, timely to time that particular flood. Two, those who normally live in coastal area should know that you should not put your assets at that particular place, because once this thing comes, it is a waste. These are things are going to, this is a natural phenomenon. You cannot stop river not to flow or sea not to flow. Those ones goes as it is. But how do you manage it? This is what we're talking about. Not for us to say that anytime it comes, we now have to now be crying wolf. No. Let us prevent it than for us to be corrective. So I commend those who visited, those that are there. Let us send them relief material. Governor has said that. Speaker has gone there. So I challenge all the foundation, charity organizations for them to visit these people that have been displaced, because they are brothers and sisters in this particular predicament.
All right, quickly, let's go over to our first paper under review this morning. That's the National Light newspaper with the big story there. Teachers will reap rewards here now, coming from the governor of Anambra State, Soludo, as Anambra State shines again in National Teachers Presidential Awards, wins overall Best Administrator, Best Private School Teacher Awards. 2023, Southeast Women shut down Imo for Tinubu. Flood sacks to Anambra local government areas. We've talked about that. New meningitis wave kills 56 across Nigeria. Up there, smartphones to use universal chargers from 2024. Federal government to add 817 megawatts to national grid. All right, these are what are trending in front of the National Light newspaper this morning. Let's start with the big story. They're talking about teachers reaping their rewards now. Earlier when we were growing up, they used to tell us that teachers' reward is in heaven. But I think the governor said that they should start reaping their reward here on earth before going to heaven and all that. So,
of course, teachers are the makers of different professions that we have in this world. Okay, everything begins with teacher. Okay, it's not when we say that, as I said, the reward is in heaven, or when they used to say teacher normally use ruler to measure yam. If you cut 1 inch today, tomorrow you cut 2 inches. Okay, what I'm trying to say that time is that teachers are always economical. But let us come to what the governor was saying. Okay, talk about those who are committed teachers, who are people that are dedicated teachers, who normally impact that particular knowledge to the people, to the students, and to people that are schooling. So not for those who breed heartbreak, because the employment, what I'm trying to say, that Anambra employ capable hand. What we talk about meritocracy, you cannot say somebody who does not know how to teach a subject, who does not have a good grade, who does not know physics or mathematics to go and handle that, and at the end of the day, people were being bred to be hard-baked, when they graduate, they become a moron, they become a nuisance to the society. Okay, what even somebody read or studied, he or she cannot defend the mentor. But it begins from the teacher. Although at times, some people, you can have a good teacher, but students will not listen. But what I'm trying to say that those who are committed, who know what they are doing, we call them demonstrative, teachers. I know most of them. Okay, when they come to the class, even students will be happy seeing them. Okay, most of the school resume today, start lecture today. Like where my words is, okay, they started today, start what they call resumption test. So if you don't resume at that time, you miss that test and the form part of the assessment. So those teachers who are very, very committed, who are very, very dedicated in teaching the students, they have reward here. Okay, you must have to encourage them, you must have to motivate them. This time around, we don't motivate good works. That's why you go to schools, teachers are feel, like a dassical. Okay, they feel nonchalant because all this effort they are imparting, who is even appreciating them? Sometimes the salary is not even enough. Even the minimum wage, they say that it's going to be 30,000 naira. How many people have implemented that? I want another state government to start implementing that so that at least he who much is given, much is expected. If you praise somebody who kill a fowl, then if you see a cow, you have to now also kill that.
Okay, what do you also have to say about the people that received the national award, the teachers that received the national award?
Yes, because they are erudite teachers.
From Anambra State.
Yes, the erudite teachers, people that are committed, people that know what they are doing. If you go to went to College of Education and you study, make sure that you study very well. So when you come, whatever impact to society today, someone that impact today will affect the whole society. Because if you breed heartbreak, you don't know whether somebody you are going to be a medical doctor tomorrow is going to carry a cesarean operation to your sister or your brother in Enugu and that person die because he doesn't know what he's doing. So what I'm trying to say is that those who receive award merited it. What we are trying to draw a line to is that let us have meritocracy. If you employment by the Anambra State has an open window for teachers' employment. Let those who apply, let them merit that particular thing. Not that this is my brother, this is my sister, or whatever. So that when they go to the class, they will become joy. Excuse me, if you know a subject, you become proud of it. It depends on your mentor. So, but sometimes, some can say, some couples, can you teach this one? No, I will not teach it. I will do this one. I will not. But you say you're a science student. You cannot go and teach physics. Can you teach chemistry? And mathematics? So, if you go to university and graduate, make sure that you defend your mental in area of your discipline. That is what makes you to be a graduate. You can't be a graduate and they give you a subject on your discipline. You say you cannot handle that. Which means you didn't pass that particular course. You just want to maneuver your way out. So what I'm trying to say, those who merited this, who win this award, let them continue to do more because he who much is given, much expected. Let them become a who is always ask for more. Okay. And let them not relent at this particular place.
Hello, good morning. Good morning. Reduce the volume on your on TV set and talk to us. Good morning. What's your name and your location? All right. Kaifu head in a Cordita newspaper. As Toludo eguzobela otun lekota ansipa bo okun kwalite onodu akunuba. Na Anambra gọọmenti ebidola ọrụ n'okporo ụzọ mkpọ Umoji. N'Ekiti ejidela onye nche zuru ego onyinye n'ụlọ ụka. Ihe abụ ihe anyị nwere n'iru akụkọ ka ọ dị taa. Ka anyị tinye ọnụ na ya bụ ihe na-eme n'ụzọ mkpọ Umoji Road. Ya bụ the palliative work na-eme there na-edozi ụzọ dị n'iru inland doors.
You know, what I'm talking about, if you go to everywhere, it is something that you need to do. There's a difference between people have already gone to their own tent, leaving everything to the government to do. That's what we call community development. I want to charge our various community in Anambra State. You will see, even if a street in a community and that place is battered and causing a grill up, so the community are waiting for government to come and tie it. Fine and good. Okay, who is government? You are the government. Okay, there's a certain work you're going to do. Okay, at least to help the government, even if to carry sand or whatever it is, to close it up. There's one that is at Gibke Grammar School Junction here. I know what Eisenwos and other people from Modoka are trying to do to put the place to be more terrible. Okay, but sometimes most of us in the community leave it that government, it is a duty for you to provide all these things, amenities to the community. Okay, but you say that what they call community development. Now at Umoji, people are doing these things now so that place can be more terrible. Potholes, is one of dangerous factor that cause accidents, in every places. You see, so most of the time, the youth of a community who normally go and collect money from people that are building and doing all these things, what are they using it to do? They can use it to wine and dine. Everybody's going to use it to do what? Maintain the road.
Okay, so now that the government are taking up the responsibility to fix the road, so what do you say to Anambra State government?
The government of Anambra State, okay, are doing what they're supposed to do. We commend them for that. But what I'm saying, in effect, is that community should also help to do their own part so that it will be a collective effort. Not everything should be for government. Just manage to pack the road at their own ability.
Quickly, let's move over to the next paper. That's the National Star newspaper this morning. The banner headline, Reps move to prevent CJN removal without NAS approval. And then we have, I want to vote Muslim in 2023, coming from Cardinal Onaikan. Campaigned APC National Working Committee Governors PCC in stormy meeting. I didn't tell Abga not to work for Peter Obi. This is coming from Soludo PDP National Working Committee to appeal judgment on Ogun State chapter. Federal government also urged to resolve dispute out of court. These and many more are what we have in front of the National Sun newspaper. Let's know who we have here this morning before we comment on any of the stories. All right, quickly, let's see what we have there. The banner headline, Reps move to prevent CJN removal without NAS approval.
Whenever there is election at hand, they will remove civil judges of federation. That's what happened to another. Okay, now when they're talking about something, because that time that Onoye was removed, okay, overnight by President Buhari, you see, that is when the National Assembly would have rise to their feet and say, no, these things must pass through us as required. That's what they call what the National Judicial Council, okay, has role to play. But we keep calm, we keep mood to the extent that even Onoye went to Code of Conduct, Tribunal and Brew or whatever. You see, and they are trying it. People are laughing. Now, another thing is coming. Because when you want to know, they know that most of the election, this will end the Supreme Court. And how they're going to move somebody and put another person. Somebody have already sworn in, just not up to 3-4 months now as a Chief Justice of Nigeria. Then another person now wanted to remove him and put another person. Why are we trying to allow this thing to happen? So if Rep has woke up from their slumber, okay, not to be an errand boys, okay, who their job is to put dinner in table of the executive, okay, and not trying to sing a lawyer for all the executive, demand, okay, they should now know that there is what they call separation of power and the check and balances. Okay, before anything should happen, you should follow a due process, and that due process must be done. I'm not against maybe removing anybody or whatever it is, but due process must be followed. This I'm picking, okay, has a political motive, and people that are doing it knows that when they put the person there, the person can now do the will of their masters. Person that move out, that resign, Mohammed that resign. Okay, thank you, Mohammed that resign. Why do you resign? Why do you resign? Because we found out that the judicial has already been what? Messed up. Okay? There's no any kind of trust again. Court is a hope of common man. Okay? And when you go there, you find out that the judgment are being get here and there. I'm a lawyer, but I want us to sanitize our judiciary. That's why I'm talking about judicial independence. I don't want to do that because judicial independence, National Judicial Council has a role to play. National Assembly has a role to play. But this one, because of the too much of executive power, okay, and the people now act or travail to remove somebody and put another person without a due process. 30 we are busy today, we take revenge in us tomorrow. When Onoye was passing the ordain, we are just only saying that is less concerned. Now another thing has to come. It will be a tradition in Nigeria that whenever somebody is a president executive, they have to remove and pick, sack and resack, appoint and disappoint, and engage and disengage. All these things is what they are going to be doing. So I want National Assembly, House of Rep, okay, to sit up and challenge this thing and prevent that thing not to be happen. Rather, let the due process be followed.
And quickly, just to let you know that you can be part of this discussion this morning, just dial the number displayed in front of your TV set and also contribute to the headlines that have been dishing out this morning. Our next paper is the Daily Sun newspaper. 2023, INEC to deploy undercover security agents at polling units, restates ban to use mobile phones during voting. And then Otedola Gerugu Power PLC becomes first power company to list as NGX. APC governors, National Working Committee meeting deadlock amid Adamu's warning. Presidency denies arrest intimidation of Obi supporters, vows to arrest lawbreakers. My husband suffered long trauma from civil war, military coup, 40 months detention, Buhari's wife. Okay, these are what we have in front of the Daily Sun newspaper. 2023, INEC to deploy undercover security agents at polling units.
Very well. What is INEC? Are they independent to Nigeria, or are they dependent to politicians? It is what is we're talking about.
Please hold your thoughts on that. Okay, so, go ahead.
So now, you see, what happened to over 1 million registered voters in Imo State, whereby somebody from Jamaica, somebody from Ethiopia, somebody from Libya, somebody from Togo, somebody from Ecuador, all of them registered, even from Russia, Syria, Lebanon. Okay, you have them as they capture this. What happened? Why does that thing enter into INEC database? So everything that pertains to this election, okay, INEC should try to make people to have confidence on them. Otherwise, people are losing confidence in them. Before election started even to read. I even deployed polling agents, security to polling agents. Does it stop people not to do that? You are going to do something that are going to debar them. Why should people go to court? Why should people go to court? To stop INEC not to use Beaver's machine. It's because the Electoral Act, okay, has already shut the door for those who their intention is to rig the election. And this time around, they cannot rig it, so they are trying to now go to court and now make sure that court stop INEC not to use that. What of INEC doing? Are there not people that are in INEC? I listened to Mike Guinea, okay, saying that those people that have been caught, okay, trying to maneuver portals and all this thing has been dismissed. Is it how true it is? If these things have been happening, okay, who influenced them to come into and say you are independent? Electoral Commission. Are you independent, dependent? Okay, so what I'm trying to say now is that one, is it those things that happen at Imo State, INEC must tell us who, where, what that led to that thing to happen, and how does it come to be. Two, telling us they're not going to use coppers again to do all these things. It's not even the issue. Okay, that the results will be transmitted electronically. Then let them tell us why they stop voter registration for 6 months to election. Why the Electoral Act and Constitution says that it's going to be only 60 days before the election, which is November 11. Okay? Even if INEC can know that they are going to do electronic transmission, as you can go to bank and request for your ATM card, they give it to you, use it to withdraw money, The same thing, voters card can be produced, and you vote, because we're going into digitalized, era. And not what I'm trying to do in an analog system. So what I'm trying to say, INEC deploying security to polling unit is not the issue. That is credible process, bring credible election. If the election is credible register.
Don't you think that this undercover security agents will help out in case anybody wants
haven't they been security in polling unit since the election we are conducting? Last year, there's election security.
No, now these people are undercover agents. You won't even know that they are security agents.
Then I'm trying to tell you now that those things that are trying to tell us, okay, won't solve matter. What is going to solve matter? Let me just tell you. The credible register of INEC produces credible result. When the register is not credible, okay, election cannot be credible. That's what I'm trying to tell you. How should something happen in INEC register? People in Imo State, they get the people from other countries, Jamaica, Ecuador, Libya, Russia, and any part of the world are being Nigerian citizens. Some are even born in 1904, which means they are age mate to Dr. Ndazikiwo, and they are still in the INEC register. Why should that thing come in? We are talking about being proactive and not reactive.
All
okay,
right.
The cause and not the action. The cause, why somebody penetrated that INEC portal and start to bring these names. And the people that are on register, okay, produce the result. If open results, okay, we are having 1,000 people in this particular polling unit. Is that true? Yes. And they voted. Then results comes out. But if register is not credible, you have to produce this. But when it's credible,
let's
then
just
it's not going to be
believe
a
that
problem.
they will do something about that.
Should make people to have confidence in them. Otherwise, they are becoming dependent.
All right, let's see what we have in front of the Punch and the Daily Independent newspaper this morning. The Punch newspaper, INEC governorship list, litigation kicks 14 APC, PDP, Labour candidates out. Parties face court cases in Ebonyi, Akwa Ibom, Enugu, 6 others. Commission, OK, Sanwo-Olu, Abiodun Makinde, 834 orders. Senate confirms 19 recs. Atiku Okowa in Bauchi received the factors. And then we still have there, Senate approves 2023 expenditure, OK's $73 per barrel oil unit price. Teachers Day, NUT seeks better deal, knocks governors. Adamu government meets to adjust Tinubu's campaign list. And then we can see the picture there. Bandits release remaining 23 train hostages. Families rejoice. Ebola deadlier than COVID-19. Heightened surveillance warns virologists. Lagos church dog stray bite passerbys to death. Now, over to the Daily Independent newspaper. Adamu APC governors disagree on presidential campaign flag-off. Tinubu's absence fuels confusion among party chieftains. Buhari excited as 23 Abuja-Kaduna train passengers regain freedom. Police releases bodies of Shiites killed during Free Zazaki protests 3 years after. Reps moves to bar CCT from trying and removing judicial officers. Pray for me as I depart to monastery, Mbaka tells followers. Now, these are what we have in front of the both papers that we've read out now.
Well, first of all,
the Punch and the Daily Independent.
Yes, litigations in political parties, APC, PDP, Labour Party, is normal. Okay, there is off and on. Somebody who is aggrieved, who feels that he is not satisfied, can approach court. Okay, for him to claim his mandate or to defend his right. It's very, very necessary, and it's normally occurred during political, season. Then the issue of President rejoicing for 23 remaining releasing by the bandits. Imagine we're rejoicing that bandits release people. What kind of insecurity do we have in this country? Rejoicing for the bandits that they release people. Okay? And how much do you pay them to release? Because some people continue to pay ransom. Some people even pay millions of naira to regain their wealth. Some have even been killed. Some die on the spot. What are we, federal government has done to those who pay this money for their people to release and those who die on the course because of their inability to provide security for the citizens? As enshrined in Section 14, Sub 2B of 19th Constitution as amended, that the primary objective of every government is to provide security for life and property of its citizens. And when you fail in this primary, underline primary, because if you don't go to primary, you can't go to secondary, okay, and other even tertiary. So what I'm trying to say, government has failed in the primary duty. People paid money, regain themselves. People were killed in that train. People lost their life at the process. What is federal government, what the government has done to those people? Is it those people regain their freedom and will start to rejoice? Don't anything to rejoice, because Nigeria has been deviled by insecurities, because we try to fight it with a kid glove. Those who are arrested, someone that was arrested from Egypt back, took how the Nigerian knows what is happening? How do they prosecute the man? What is his confession? Who are those that are behind these particular sponsors? Because I tell you that one of the things that you do in security, fight, is not only using kinetic formula. They don't find out using kinetic formula. Hey, five jets, sometimes even military jets can go and bomb innocent citizens. They are fighting bandits. Using what you call center of gravity. Center of gravity in the sense that who sponsored these people? Who are they? Where did they go? Where did they come from? And where they go back after the attack. Okay, you get these things and know them. Somebody was arrested, fine and good, and they fingering somebody. And somebody, if you even being the negotiator of some that are going to pay, like Guinea, who work freely in the streets of Abuja and other places, why can this man be arrested for questions? Okay, is there anybody that is more than the law, is above the law? Okay, rule of law is everything, and we must subject to law. Since we are practicing presidential system of government. Okay, and the system of government, what is obtainable is master of constitution. It's a groundnut. It's a commander of uncommanding. Okay, it is the alpha and beta. Okay, but now we don't need to follow those things because everybody claims that is above the law. Tell us what happened for those that have been arrested and their confession. What are they doing? Who are behind them? And those who have lost their life in this train attack, what the federal government has done to compensate them and even make them to feel like they're Nigerians. Not that people do this and they start to rejoice.
Okay, let's see what we have in front of the This Day newspaper, the Daily Trust and the Guardian newspaper. This Day First is still the headline still on the release of 23 train victims. Now, Buhari, Nigerians owe our military debt of gratitude as remaining 23 train victims are freed. That's the banner headline there. Urges security agencies to sustain momentum. Defense headquarters gives details of victims' rescue. How Mahmoud's arrest may have aided the safe operation. Gerego makes history, becomes first power company to list on stock exchange. NMPCL, how vandalism, oil theft impacted 2021 financial results. 2023 APC National Working Committee governors fail to agree on campaign commencement date. Over now to Daily Trust newspaper, still talking about the release of the 23 abducted Kaduna train passengers. Families excited. How negotiators seal deal. NRC to unveil plan to on trail station resumption. Senate approves a 3.6 trillion naira petrol subsidy, 8.4 trillion naira borrowing plan for 2023. More flood to hit Kogi, KB, Kaduna, Taraba, Lagos, others in 24 hours. World Teachers Day, 2 years after federal government yet to implement teachers' new salary package. And then let's see the Guardian newspaper now. Regulation policy frustrates 14,120 megawatts hydropower. And then we have stories there talking about APC unsure of campaign flag off as Adamu insists on party supremacy over PCC. Appeal court to hear ASU's stay of execution suit today.
Okay, now just because of want of time, first of all, the APC who talk about the flag off that is uncertain, because even the presidential candidate is not available. It's nowhere to be found. Okay, that's what we're trying to say. You see, so you cannot, what do you call it, bequeath people anarchy. Okay, and think that is going to now work. You see, telling us that you can start campaign anytime, any moment you want or whatever it is. Nobody owes you. Those ones are melodrama. APC told themselves the truth. Okay, they are not prepared. And because of they have already, given Nigeria, want to bequeath Nigeria, is a shady, as is their custom, because they will promise you change, as whatever in the book of Proverbs chapter 24 verse 23. Okay, those who promise you change, you should be very, very careful about them, because the calamity will come to them unaware. That's what the Bible said. So you see, APC saying that the presidential council or whatever it is, Adamu saying that the presidential council is under the party supremacy. Fine and good, okay? That is their own constitution. But what I'm trying to say is that they're not ready, they're not serious. They're not even telling people the truth, because they know their way. They think that they can able to rig this election. That is what they're thinking about. That's why everything on them is people that say, we can start anytime that we want. And somebody will come up in national, media to defend incompetency, defend incapability, defend incapacity, defend people that are not committed in all these things. Okay, because of issue of political party. This time around in 2023, it's not to save political party, it's to save life. Okay, it is an organic move and organic love. Okay, that Nigeria want to take back their country. So people should now know the time of people to divide us into religious, ethnic, tribal, and all these things cannot work. Okay, it's either that you come up and you know that you are competent, you are committed, you have capacity, and we take character. Character matters a lot. It's character that are going to go and check their track record. Those that are contesting. Okay, PDP are saying that they will unite. When are you going to unite? Why you have already shot yourself on foot? Atiku, Nike, Ayu, Oton. All these people are the collaborators of making this PDP to have what they are saying today, because the danger of growing a monster is that one day turn against you as a master. Now, the PDP knows that 2019, the presidential candidate of PDP was zoned to North. And this time around, it's going to zone to South. You go and form a committee of zoning, which is not even in PDP constitution. And now instead of to zone this into South, you throw it open. Throwing it open, even with who knows that your brother, as Jonathan, has been 6 years, that it's time for Southeast, you come out to contest. Now look at what people are doing yourself, jumbo, mumbo. I'm not even trying to do them. They are reaping their coins, what they have sowed. Bible says, whatever a man sow, so shall he reap. If you sow in flesh shall reap corruption. If so in spirit, then you can now reap what called salvation. So coming to the issue of what do you say again in this issue of power regulation? Okay, I can see that those who promise us that there will be any government that cannot fix power within 6 months supposed to resign. Fashola, I quote him in November 2014, where is power now in Nigeria? How much is tariff that you pay to them every time that they bring you bill? And even they're trying even to increase the tariff to tell you that. But go to Togo, here in Cotonou, Nigeria supply them hydro electricity. Okay, they have constant light every now and then. But in Nigeria here we have a plenty supply. Then ASU.
Continue with that. Let me just read out what we have in front of the Nation and the Nigerian Tribune newspaper this morning. Still about the APC National Working Committee in the Nation newspaper first. APC National Working Committee governors, PCC members unite for Tinubu. Lagos to riverine communities quit over flooding. Yes. And then we have the 3 scientists win Nobel Prize in chemistry. Detractors of PDP will be disappointed, says IU. Nigerian Tribune, controversial list, the campaign cancer aired APC governors. We are not in a hurry to kickstart campaigns at Damu. Then World Teachers Day, federal government governors announce special rewards for teachers. Youths chase workers away as Kogi government seals off Dangote cement at Obajana. Appeal court panel asks federal government ASU to settle dispute out of court.
Yes.
You wanted to talk about the ASU?
Yes, he who asserts must prove. Federal government are insincere. They are, what you call it, I can say, playing with a kid glove. You see, you go and register 2 different bodies, okay? Congress of Nigerian University Academics, okay, for you to stabilize ASU. It's not of you to do the right thing. It's of you to embrace truth that you should. People that are clamoring for their salary, clamoring for the facilities in university, for students to have a conducive environment for them to study. And you are there, your children is abroad schooling. Any of them that is a minister or whatever, whose children schooling music here or Unilag, let me see them. They're not there. So now you went and planning divide and rule. I pity those people that will go and form that Congress of Nigerian, University of Academics. You see, it's a shame, a closer shame to them. People can say that you are a scholar and you go there and become somebody that is a moron and leading you. It's easy enough to go and sort this problem out. How many times will have ASU and the federal government meeting? Since 1999, okay, till date, ASU total strike they have gone is 6 years, 3 months, and 14 days. And they're still going to continue because you don't want to do what your agreement of you to just follow what you have agreement that I made. Okay, we have a minister of education, Adam, saying that if they like, they no work, no pay. Imagine that kind of language. Can you say it in any advanced country? You have to resign. I call them to resign. I don't to resign. Even in Gige, as reason to resign because you cannot take these things for granted because your words are not there. All okay, right. So now for them to settle out of court, it's federal government that take us to court. And the ASU now also go to appeal. And the appeal now saying that let them what you call, status quo ante bellum. All right. Status quo ante bellum, that is stay in the, go out and settle this.
Okay, okay, Chuku, how are you doing this morning?
I'm fine. What about you? Let me speak on what your case is talking about.
Yeah.
ASU, they have over-dragged this issue. They should consider the children.
All right.
They should consider the children that are in public schools. I know that some of them, their children are not schooling with the public institution. Some of them are schooling with the private institution or they are even in abroad. Whatever that one is doing, please always put in human value. Look at these children. Don't look at government. Because if you look at government, most of them do not care.
All right.
And they are getting it more. They should please have an administrative ground for these children to go back to school.
All right. Thank you so much, Okechukwu, for your contributions.
People will come and settle them.
All right. Thank you so much.
I disagree with you.
Also, please, we don't really have time again.
Okay.
Yeah,
No
we want to
problem,
say a very big thank you to you for joining us on Press Review this morning. Uzo Ekeme, say thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me. What I want to tell the person is that if you put on your own laps, they put it in another person's lap. If one and open cake, one who put also, or one of the federal government, money one since. Why would you make you work since? Pambosha, and you so no bani, well, Okoto Quadron Cambody. I give more than this.
Well, that's it on Press Review this morning. Thank you so much for joining us. My name is Chidimma Oraunwa. We'll take a short break, but we'll be right back. We'll see you at the other side. Stay with us.